Hey, what's up everybody? It's Aaron the Big Guy himself once again with another video. Welcome to Big Guy Tips. And it's been quite some time since I made a video simply because I was sick as a dog for the month of February. I was still going to work, barely making it through, coming home, going to sleep, eating still. Thank God I had an appetite, but it was just not a really good time for me. So I decided to postpone and stop and just sort of collect myself until now. So hopefully anyone who's still a fan or still waiting for videos, hey, I'm back. And I wanted to make this quick video, and I wanted to highlight the 5 most common mistakes beginners make on a keto and carnivore diet. Now I know you've probably seen tons of videos like this. You can find 1,000 of them online right now. If you're watching this, you're in the same keto carnivore health space echo chamber that we all are on. If you're watching this, you've seen at least 50 to 100 other videos. But I promise you, the difference between those is, one, I keep things dumb simple. My original name on Instagram used to be Dead Simple Keto before I changed it back to my old name, to Big Guy Tips, because yeah, I like that name. And everything I do is dumb simple. So there's 2 ways of learning anything. One, you can go to school, you can get proper training, you can listen to the greatest advice of other people, which I do. I do listen to good advice. But the second way to learn something is to make every mistake you could think of. And that's what I did. In the past 3 years, I made every single mistake you could think of on a keto carnivore diet. And fortunately, I learned a lot from it. So here we go, the top 5 mistakes that any newcomer makes on a ketogenic diet or carnivore diet. Number 1, and this is an important one. This is one I see more than anything, especially with people who don't have large appetites. Not eating enough food, eating too little calories. This one is extremely important. I know at least 1 or 2 or 3 of my clients. I don't have many right now, so don't get ahead of yourself. I'm looking for more, by the way. But the few clients that I do have, the first thing that I notice is that they are not eating enough calories. When you take out the carbs and introduce foods that people aren't used to eating on a regular basis, especially fat and protein, people aren't going to be eating enough of those things, which is going to have I know people who were eating 1,000 calories a day just because they were so satiated with the food. When you start implementing the fat and the protein, it's very satiating. Make sure that you're eating enough calories. And the question is, how do you do that? It's real simple. In order to do that, you should definitely try to get a calorie counter. You want to get like a calorie counting app. The one I used to use was MyFitnessPal. There are thousands of them on your phone right now you can look up. But find a calorie counting app and make sure you try to stick to those calories every day, whether it be 2,000 calories or 2,100 calories, or even if it's 1,700 calories. Make sure you're at least hitting that amount, if not more, especially in the beginning. You want to make sure you eat a lot more calories in the beginning. 1, because you're still going to undereat, but 2, you want to get your body prepared for ketosis. You want to get your body prepared for changing. No one wants to calorie restrict and put a new diet in place. That's just going to be terrible. Anyway, I got all my notes over here. I'm going to barely edit this thing just because I just want to throw content out there, and I want to put more of my natural self out there. I don't want to have to constantly edit shit and all this. So we're going to do this raw and dirty, and hopefully you guys like it. Number 2, it's very important also, and I have these in order of least important to most important. Well, no, I'm lying. I have it from most important to least important. The most important is make sure you get enough calories and make sure you're eating enough. Number 2 is going to be, make sure you're getting enough fat. That is very important. That's sick. That's so sick in terms of how important it is, because we've heard our entire life that fat is bad for you, that fat's going to give you clogged arteries, fat's going to give you a heart attack, fat's going to give you fatty liver. All those things were complete and total lies. I promise you, they're total lies. I remember when I first started keto 3 years ago, I was shocked at how much fat I was eating. I thought I was going to die. When I was putting 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 tablespoons of butter in the frying pan to make some eggs, and cracking 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 eggs in there, I for sure thought I was going to die, and I did not. And in fact, in that time, I lost 135 pounds, 140 pounds. Like, it's steadily going down, and I have felt better than ever. So I repeat, do not be afraid of fat. I promise you that that's not going to kill you. In fact, it might save your life. The third thing that most people do, the third mistake that most people make, is not getting enough protein. Now, protein and fat, we're not going to get into the ratios of all that stuff in a keto or carnivore diet, because I believe the official ratios, which have been just constantly adjusted, is going to be 20% protein, 70% fat, and 5% carbs. Terrible macro ratios for anybody first starting off. Those are not important. Those aren't accurate for someone who wants to have a sustainable diet, because that's just way too much fat, not enough protein. Once you get a good amount of fat in, you want to focus on your protein. Ideally, you want to have them both in conjunction. You want to have fat and protein together. One of the best things to have fat and protein together is have a good steak. Steak to me is one of my favorite things. It's absolutely satiating, and the protein is if you get a nice good ribeye, it's like a 1-to-1 fat to protein ratio, and that's just going to be delicious. So you fry it up in there, and you fry it up in a pan, and you just got the perfect meal. Now this one's going to be a doozy. The next one I'm going to say is vastly important. This one is almost number one in terms of importance, but we're just going to make sure that, because I only say it's the most important because I feel like if you start this diet without this, in about a week or 2 weeks, you're going to start feeling like crap. And the number 4 biggest mistake that people make is not getting enough salt or minerals. This is a ridiculously easy thing to do, but everyone in the beginning tends to have a huge problem with it. Not getting enough salt, not getting enough potassium and magnesium, which you can get from certain vegetables, which if you're on a carnivore diet, that's not going to fly because you're barely not eating any vegetables. But you can take supplements. You can take a potassium supplement and a magnesium supplement, and those are going to be vital, because what happens is once your body goes through carb withdrawal, once your body burns all the glycogen in your muscles and in your body, you're going to feel like shit. And that's just the fact. I've been trying to tell my clients this, I've been trying to tell everyone this. Salt your food, which is very important. Not the little table salt that you get, at the Morton's table salt everyone has at home. You want to get sea salt. You want to get pink Himalayan sea salt. Everyone says get it responsibly sourced. I don't have the money for that. And if you just need something for convenience, get yourself a nice, decent pink Himalayan sea salt and just keep it around. Throw it in your water if you start feeling low, because you're going to feel dizzy. If you're new to this, I promise you, this is the number one thing that stops people from the diet, and it's the keto flu. It's the dizziness, it's the tiredness, it's the not being able to get out of bed. And all you need is 3 simple supplements. You don't need to take anything fancy. Just salt, potassium, and magnesium. That's it. And in decent amount of quantities, which is going to change from person to person. When I first started, I was taking 2 magnesium and 2 potassium pills and a shot of salt. Don't do that. Shooting salt in your mouth is disgusting. Just do it with caution. If you have to, do it. Or you can just pour a little bit inside some water and drink it. It's still disgusting, but at least it's going to help you out some. And the fifth, and this is probably the least important thing on this whole list, but it's still important. Beware of carb creep. Now, what is carb creep? Most people are going to probably ask. Carb creep is when you're eating foods that have hidden carbohydrates in them. For example, here's an important one, or here's one, a common one, I should say. You know when Splenda first came out and all the hippies and yuppies were just like, oh, there's still sugar in that, and everyone thought they were lying. Turns out they were true. If you look on your Splenda packets, the first ingredient isn't sucralose, it's going to be maltodextrin. And what's maltodextrin? Maltodextrin is sugar. It is a sugar alternative, or it's sugar that they just name differently and they use it as a filling agent. So yeah, there's sugar in Splenda. There's sugar in a lot of things. 95% of the middle aisle of any store, the food you find in there, especially processed food, is full of sugar. Hot dogs have sugar inside of it. Salami has sugar inside of it. Even if you go out to eat, certain glazes and marinades inside the food have sugar inside of it, and those things add up very fast depending on what you do. So my tip would be to cook your own meals. It's less convenient, but it's so much more safe than, you know, buying something and then buying something at a store, eating it and loving it, and then not seeing the scale move. That is actually one of the worst things to experience, I promise you, and it's happened to a lot of people. Well, this video lasted a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but I did get my points across. I'm not going to edit this way too much, so you're going to hear a lot of uhs and ums and stutters and misplaced words. But this is here, I'm here for the real. I'm done trying to make perfect polished videos. I just want to get the information to people as best as I possibly can. And they'll probably get better in the future. I'm sure they will. But you're gonna have to give me time. This is a new channel. This is my new censored channel. If you would like to see some of my uncensored stuff, you can look up, I don't know if it's gonna show up on here because I'm probably buried in the algorithms. But Aaron the Big Black Dude is my other channel, and I think it's pretty hilarious. Hopefully you find some enjoyment in it. But once again, like I said, Aaron the Big Black Dude. And if you guys like this information, please give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that other stuff. And yeah, see you guys in the next video. Talk to you later. Peace.